Imagine walking into a room where every single person is wearing the exact same red shirt, but somehow you're the only person to be wearing a blue shirt. Let's say that that blue shirt is your favorite shirt. You love it. But then you look up and see a bunch of faces criticizing the simple way you dress. With these type of moments, we face a simple question. Do I blend in or do I stand out? If I blend in, then I would need to take off my favorite shirt and put on a red shirt, like everybody else. But if I stand out, I would be the only one in blue. What I'm trying to say here is that sometimes by being different or authentic doesn't mean that you'll fit in. Sometimes society forces us in a way to act, speak, hear the same music, or even dress like everybody else. But then here comes another question. If I do all of the things like everybody else, then I'm not truly being myself? Not exactly. The answer to this question is self-respect. What is self-respect? Self-respect to me is a way to stay honest with yourself, to stand firm on your opinions, your likings, and your preferences, and not changing them completely based on an exterior opinion. I want to tell you a story where I lacked of this self-respect. This story is called Junior High. It all started in September 22 here at Colegio Las Hayas, where I faced a new stage of my life. I had new teachers, new classes, but I also wanted a new social life. So I wanted to make new friends. Back then, I suppose that if I wanted to make new friends, I would need to do the same things as them, to act like them. For example, back then I trained tennis, which is a sport that I have always trained since I was a little kid. I stopped training tennis so I could train soccer with all of my school friends, so I could fit in. Sometimes I went to places that everybody wanted to go, even though I didn't want it to, so I could fit in. Eventually, with these decisions that I made with myself, led to a very uncomfortable position, which also led to an expression of my feelings, my ideas, and my preferences. But guess what? I faced criticism, I faced a judgment, and I faced a disapproval. Looking back, it wasn't even that bad, but it was the first time that I had to deal with it. And guess what I did? I excluded myself. They didn't exclude me. I excluded myself because I felt that I really didn't fit in. And I got myself locked up into this imaginary emotional and social cage. Second year comes on, and I was still into this cage. I stopped going to parties that everybody went to. I stopped hanging out with friends that I used to hang out with, because I suppose that if I wanted to fit in again, it would all end into this rejection and excluding myself again, as it had happened before. This led to a very sad moment of my life. But this sadness motivated me to make a change. This change happened next year, third year of junior high, which was probably one of the best years I have spent here at Colegio Las Hayas. I made new friends inside and outside of the school. I got back to training tennis almost every single day of the week, but even though I trained alone without any of my school friends, I enjoyed it a lot because that's what I wanted to do. That's what I have always loved. Throughout these 3 years, I have learned a very important lesson, mostly about criticism. You see, criticism deals with comprehension and acceptance leads to a better and deeper understanding of people's preferences, of people's opinions. You see, sometimes criticism feels like that pair of scissors that cuts our society into small little pieces. Not even our society, sometimes ourselves. But comprehension and acceptance can glue those pieces back. You see, for instance, if we agreed all the time, would we learn something new? Probably we wouldn't, because we learn from each other, from each other's disagreements. But we need to know how to learn from each other. In the end, sometimes you won't get that social approval that we desire for. As I said, you'll face critics, you'll face a disagreement, and you might face judgment. But it's more important to be yourself than trying to fit in. In the end, it's about creating a community where people's preferences are always welcome. But the way that we react to those differences and those preferences define the society that we live in. So I want to tell you to wear your blue shirt proudly and let it shine among all of the red shirts. Thank you.